How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining me for another episode of Connecticut Business Podcast, where we will talk to Miles Joseph, the owner of Miles Joseph Studios, which was founded in October 2018. Miles studied at the Arrojo Cosmetology School in Soho, Tribeca, New York City, where he had the privilege of learning haircutting techniques from Nick Arrojo himself, founder of the school and star of What Not to Wear. He also got a chance to learn from Paul Merrit, who has worked on the Victoria's Secret fashion show and ad campaigns for Maybelline and other credible gigs, where in the school Miles studied and trained using the Goldwell line and continues to use it because of the vibrant colors and endless possibilities they offer. After completing this program, he also became a Diva Curl certified at the age of 19. Another cool fact about Miles was his grandfather, Bart Akana, owned two elite and extremely popular shops in Queens, New York in the 1940s, where he had an array of celebrity clients, as well as high-profile socialites, which Miles hopes to achieve the same level of success and continue innovating new techniques that inspire new talent. After being in the industry and working as a hairstylist for 3 years, Miles unlocked a burning desire to open his own salon with his own goal of creating an environment that fosters innovative styles and techniques, a place to bend the rules and leave behind a unique legacy and philosophy. So let's introduce Miles, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. Why don't you start off by telling me how you got into the business and what really.
So when I was younger, I just would always do my friend's hair, and my mom had gone to cosmetology school, and I'd come home and I wouldn't do any of my homework, and I would immediately go play with all of her mannequin heads and all the tools and all that kind of stuff. So I was always interested in that. I was very creative growing up, not drawing and painting, but I just was a creative person, very out there. So after high school, I didn't do that well in high school, and then afterwards, I was like, what should I do? And then I kind of got back into the hair thing, and I worked at a hair salon for a while. And then I knew I wanted to get out of Connecticut for a little bit. So I looked at schools in New York, and I stumbled across Arrojo. Had a really good rep. And then I went there, and the rest is history.
So when you were going to that, when you were working at the salon, did you know you wanted to open a salon, or was it something that just was an opportunity?
I knew that I always wanted to definitely open a salon because I felt like that was my ultimate end goal. I really love the business aspect of hair and in this industry, beauty industry. But I also do like doing hair. But when I was working in the hair salon, I was the front desk. So I would see everyone getting their hair done in the environment, and I was like, oh my God, I need to be involved in this. I need to get my license and be able to do the hair and stuff like that.
So what got you, is Soho the school you went to, is that a hard school to get into?
So it's actually not any cosmetology school. It's not regular college where you have to get accepted or whatever. You do have to write a letter and you have to have an interview, but everyone pretty much gets in. They're just very strict on attendance. So they are want to make sure you're down for the program and the 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. They want to make sure you're down for that because that keeps their
Your graduation
rate. Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
So when you work with Nick Arrojo and someone like Paul Merrit, they have pretty high celebrity status, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What's it like working with them, and does it change your career afterwards, or is it?
So working with them was cool. I worked more with Paul Merrit. He kind of wanted to get into teaching and stuff like that, which he always kind of taught people, I guess, through his career. But Nick was not really there as much. He was there, you saw him walking around, you'd go get a drink of water and he'd walk by you, whatever, because the school was attached to his salon. But he wasn't really hands-on. A couple times he was, which was a little bit of false advertising because I was super excited for that. I was like, oh my God, What Not to Wear? That's so cool. He works with a celebrity clientele. But Paul Merrit was just as cool. I mean, he worked on, really big campaigns for Maybelline and worked on the Victoria's Secret fashion show. So that was really cool. And it definitely elevated my skill, I would definitely say. And I got some cool tips and tricks from him to carry on into my career.
When you graduate a school like that, does it bring you a certain status in the industry, or is it kind of
I don't want to sound like weird, but not weird. Like I don't want to sound like cocky or whatever, but like I definitely think that it separates it from your average school, which is why I went and sought after like to go learn from these people. And actually the cosmetology school in Connecticut recently, like in the last year, my fiance, he went to that school and they have awesome educators coming in. But before that, when I was in school, they didn't have that. So that's why I went there. So I definitely say it elevated it, and everyone in the industry knows who Nick Arrojo is. I don't think many people know who Paul Merrit is, just because like when you work behind the scenes of the shows,
he's more marketing.
No, just in the sense of like you're not like in the magazines, you're doing the magazine work. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people know Nick from the TV show, and he owns the schools and the successful salons and all that kind of stuff. But I definitely would say going to that school definitely gave me a nice foot in the door to wherever I wanted to work, because they saw that on my resume and they're like, oh, that's cool. You know what I mean? So I interviewed at like 3 other salons when I came back from school, and like I would have gotten all the jobs if I wanted to because of where I went to school.
So did you ever get a chance to work with Nick at all, or was it?
So Nick, he would, like I said, we'd see him. He talked to us like one other time, and I don't want to like shit on anyone, obviously, but like I wish that he was more involved with the students. I think maybe he is now, but when I was there, he was like just there in passing, and maybe 1 or 2 times he took the scissors out of my hands and showed me something when he went around to all the students, but it wasn't very, one-on-one with him.
Mm-hmm. So
but his philosophies. So all the teachers are trained by him, you know what I mean? So I'm learning Nick's cut, just not from Nick, you know what I mean? So, but I'm learning all of his tips and tricks that he trains his teachers, which was like only 4 teachers, and it was a very small school. So I guess you could say I learned from like Nick's style.
Yeah, he's got a certain style.
Yeah, barbering, all that kind of stuff. So I definitely learned from
that. And your grandfather was in the business, right?
Yeah, my great-grandfather, he owned 2 shops in Queens.
So did you ever, great-grandfather, you probably didn't get a chance to. My great-grandmother just passed. She was 100. So
Wow, that's awesome.
Did you ever get a chance to talk to
I met him, but I was so young that it never really, I just heard so many stories from my grandmother, and like, she would tell me a bunch of stuff. But I remember him, and like I've obviously met him before, but just I never was
never got a chance.
I can't wait to do hair. Yeah, it was a really.
So did his name ever bring anything to your business? Because you had mentioned that he had a high celebrity profile back when he was in the business.
Yeah, so he had a little shop set up in JFK Airport, actually. So he would do like celebrity clientele when they would either get off the plane or go on the plane or whatever. I wouldn't say that not many people like to hear the story, and the write-up, I actually have one in my salon with like newspaper articles of his salon and stuff, or barbershop. But I wouldn't say it didn't really do anything for my career, at least. It just is a cool background and my link to, family that has history of doing it.
Yeah, it's a passed down generational thing.
Yep.
So how many people are working at your salon?
So I have 2 front desk staff, one of them being my mom, which is really cool. And then I have 4 stylists, and then my grandmother cleans my salon. So there's like 7 or 8 of us, including my 5 stylists, including myself, 2 front desk staff, and then I also have my grandmother who works here.
And how old are you?
23.
Oh, same age. So that's pretty. It's got to be pretty fun to manage. So when you go into hiring somebody, what do you look for? Do you want them pre-trained? Do you like to train them yourself?
Yeah. So I just actually recently hired someone, and I've been looking for forever. Me and my manager Taylor, we've been looking for someone to like kind of check all of our boxes, because you just don't want to hire someone like, especially because here it's a smaller studio, so we're very close. You know what I mean? Like we have this great dynamic. We have a really good team environment here. We know how to communicate with each other. So for me to add someone onto the business, it's not just like a numbers thing. It's like a personality thing. It's what you're going to bring to the table. I don't really care, if you have clients that you're bringing, or if you have like whatever, like as long as you can like kill it behind the chair and your personality fits in, that's what I look for the most. So skill.
And so kind of transitioning into how the back end of the salon works, you say bringing clients of your own. So how does it actually work? as a business model? Do they pay to be there? Do you like how is
Oh,
that?
okay. So it's commission based. So everyone makes a commission that works here. So it's not hourly pay. You basically get a percentage of whatever sales that you do during the week. So like when someone comes on, like I brought my clients from my salon that I went to, or some of them. I had to really rebuild a lot, but that's a totally different story. And so everyone oh no, I just like you like it goes into like basically like my last career. The reason why I wanted to open up a shop too was just because like again I liked the business aspect of things and all that kind of stuff. But I basically told everyone where I was going, but only like 20 people followed, so I really had to start over. But when I hire someone, there's a like you go to a hair salon, yes, for the salon, but you also go for the person that you're seeing, right? So if you've been seeing someone for 5 years, you're gonna follow where they go. So that's what I meant by that.
So do they? Because I think some salons like you rent the chair. Or,
Yeah.
So is it?
So rental is completely different, and I'm actually looking into maybe opening something like that because it's very intriguing for a lot of people these days. Renting is really big, and I think that just from what I've seen other salons do, I think it's a very profitable business to be in from a business perspective, and it also gives someone who maybe doesn't want the overhead of a whole studio or a whole salon to kind of have that opportunity and that taste of being their own boss. There's pros and cons for both, really. But I'm looking into maybe opening up another space and just having rentals.
So how would something? Oh, I heard a little bit of echo. How would something like that benefit the salon owner? And then how would it also benefit the
like a rental situation?
Yeah, the rental situation.
So how it would benefit, so like let's say you have, let's just throw numbers out there, you have $2,000 worth of rent, utilities, insurance, all that kind of stuff, and you have 5 stations, and you're charging, you know, each person that has the station, you know, their rental fee of like $700 to $800, right? So let me just do some, because I cannot do math in my head.
Neither can I.
5 chairs at, let's just say $800, which is the going rate in this area. So that's $4,000. So you're kind of profiting about $2,000 a month. So on top of that, to keep like a, you know, be able to earn more than that, you could throw in like retail, which is really big. And you could like, you know, offer your renters like a percentage off their lease if they sell a certain amount of products. So you're actually going to profit more. There's a couple different ways that you can profit more off of rentals too. It really just depends on what kind of work you want to do. Like if someone wanted to open up a rental salon and like be the kind of person where they just collect the money, that would be perfect for them. But for me, I like to be more involved. So that's why I opened up a commission.
You like to build a brand.
Yeah, exactly.
When you do like the rental side of things, who sets the rate? Does the salon set the price or?
Yeah, basically, like I said, I'm just dipping my toes in that kind of field. I haven't really done much research on it, but from what I do know, you go off of what's going on in the area. So there's a building that, you know, has a bunch of little suites in there, and, you know, I think their rentals go for like, I want to say like $700 to $800 a month. Again, that's why I pulled those numbers, because that's what the common denominator in the area, and also what you can offer. So if you're like going in and gutting a place and like state of the art, like really beautiful, very trendy, you can charge more. And if you're, let's say, leasing to someone who's well known in the industry, you know, someone might want to work in that salon, so you might be able to charge, you know, a couple $100 more because you're working with so and so or next to so and so, right?
So is it beneficial for the salon owner to seek out high profile hairdressers on the rental side of things, or even in your business model, you want to, everything's based off of your reputation, so that the better skills your brand has.
So in my opinion, just because I am on the side of like, I wouldn't want my girls to like leave me tomorrow and go rent a space. I would never seek someone out, but definitely, you know, doing the right kind of branding, making sure you're getting the word out there that, you know, I just opened up a trendy new rental booth area. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to like go poaching, because that's tacky.
Yeah, that's big in our business. I do
Yeah.
the landscaping, so
Okay.
headhunting is pretty big
Yep. Because you
for
want,
ours.
more guys and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So.
Yeah, skills. Anybody that's trained. So how do you and you kind of touched on it. How do you make sure that somebody doesn't leave your salon for another one?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, it basically you just have to, be the best of the best, and in the sense of making sure that you're taking care of your people. You know what I mean? And you're offering everything they need, that they never feel like they're out of something, like out of any product. Making sure that their clients are getting the great experience when they're cashing in and cashing out and checking in. And just being able to do cool projects, I think, is my biggest thing. Is I like to do like seasonal projects. So we were actually in the middle of doing one for like a photo shoot, and like that keeps the team creative. You know what I mean? So incentives, making sure that they know that they can grow within the company with, getting a higher percentage of their commission. I eventually want to be able to offer healthcare, and I want to be able to match 401ks. But you also, another thing too, is you don't want to suffocate people. So you don't want to throw a contract in there. At the end of the day, clients coming here, like I said before, they're coming here for an experience. They're coming here for your stylist, right? So I'm not gonna, if whoever wants to leave, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm not telling you where she went. Like, that's you're coming here for us, but you're also coming here for her. It's her livelihood, it's her business. No matter if she left dirty or whatever, like you gotta be upfront. So not having a contract, so then the client or the stylist doesn't feel like threatened or like locked down or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So going into making, and I'm sure keeping good stylists to you in your business is keeping the doors busy. So how do you market? Because there in my business, landscaping, there's a whole bunch of us, and
Yeah.
from what I've seen, there's a bunch of hairstylists, but I'm sure there's something that makes you different from the next person.
Of course. And what's really cool about both of our businesses actually is that we create things. So you're creating, a beautiful landscape, you're a patio, all this kind of stuff. So you can see it, so the client, wants to go get that done in their backyard, right? So it's really about the picture taking is huge. And like a ton of people are, jumping on the bandwagon of, making sure they're taking before and after pictures and doing cool little videos. My manager, Taylor, she is literally amazing, and I wouldn't like even be like half the salon I am without her. She does a great job on her social media. She does great email campaigns. We have referral programs and incentives for the clients to keep coming back and to refer a friend and all that kind of stuff. So I'm sorry, what was the question first? I have ADD, so I just
kind of like how you're keeping the doors busy.
yeah.
So kind of going on to what Taylor does.
Yeah.
What's she doing on social media that possibly keeps the door on Instagram or Facebook? Do you guys do any paid advertising, or is it just organic reach?
So I've done Instagram, like in the very beginning, I've paid for Instagram and Facebook. Well, Facebook does the Instagram stuff, but I don't really think that really helps as much. It's really referrals, and also, keeping on brand with your social media. So who do you want your perfect client to be? Thinking about that with every post that you do. So if you're trying to, bring in an older crowd, maybe you're doing, I don't know, like pictures of like pretty flowers or something, where we want to bring in more of, we love the older crowd. I have, a great, bread and butter clientele, which I see every couple weeks. It's really awesome. We have great relationships. I consider them family, but we also cater to like young college, mid 20s to late 30s. And, we want to stay trendy. So I don't know if I probably haven't heard of like the brand Nasty Gal fashion.
No.
It's like
landscapers aren't all that fashionable.
So it's just, I don't know, we just try to like, with every post that we put out there, we try to like have a cool filter that would cater to, the age group that we're trying to target for specific services. So it really depends on, just keeping on brand and making sure that you're engaging with the crowd that you want to engage with, creating that perfect client.
And your ideal client, like you said, is like the college, younger.
Well, I would say the ideal crowd for what we love to do, and I love to do everything with hair, so I don't want to like be like misinterpreted, but like we love hand painting, we love balayage as it's called. It's a hand painted foils, so the girls that get like the blonde hair and all that kind of stuff. That's what we are known for. That's what we love to do. So we try to cater on our social media, which is already going to be that age group that's on Instagram mostly. That's our perfect client. That's our client that we like to see in our chair.
Have you guys tried TikTok at all?
I have TikTok for my personal use that I like mess around with, but I don't think that TikTok per se would give us any business because it's too broad, right? So I'm sitting in Connecticut making a TikTok and someone could be sitting in Nebraska. It's not really the area, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna.
It'd be more or less for a social building up.
Where Instagram, your client posts a selfie on their thing, they tag us, their friend lives in Connecticut, so they follow us, they come and see us, so it's kind of like that.
So what would you say to somebody that's trying to grow in your business? They want to start out and they don't really know where to go or how to start. What would you say for them to do?
So I would say if you're just trying to start out, find a good accountant.
Yeah.
And if you can, because that's very important. And if you can, find kind of like a business manager per se, someone to kind of like go to ask questions about, or even like a fellow, stylist, like someone come and ask me like, hey, like what should I do with this? What should I do with that? But kind of first start with a brand. Like what's your vision? Find your perfect client. And kind of go from there, see what you want to do. Do you want to just rent a chair? Do you want to open up a salon? Definitely start with the branding and like the money aspect of things, because at the end of the day, yes, it's fueled by our passion, but it's really fueled by, money and how are you going to pay for rent? How are you going to pay for product? I would say one of the hardest things that I struggled with was creating a menu. So trying to stay competitive in the area. Just like the little baby steps. There's so like I wouldn't even know there's so much to start. So maybe like a list of things that you need to get done.
And you've been in business for how many years?
It's gonna be 2 years in October, so about a year and a half.
So all right. So if you had to restart, and from what you now know in 2 years, what would you do differently?
What would I do differently? I don't know if I would do anything differently because obviously it led to me to where I am today, but I would definitely I don't know. I focused on a brand. I knew that I wanted to create a really cool, modern, chic place that was just all about hair. Like I didn't want to worry about what I was wearing or, what I was talking about behind the chair or how perfect everything was. Like I just wanted to come in, be super creative and just kind of foster an environment like that. So that was my main focus, and I kind of just it just happened. You know what I mean? Things just happened. I just started with a vision. Like, what did I see Miles Joseph Studios becoming in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? And I have all those visions, and I kind of you just gotta go for it.
So, what is your 5, 10-year, 20-year vision? Where do you want to be in?
My 5-year vision would definitely be to expand here at the building. I'm trying to work with the town. To be able to expand just because zoning issues in the area are tough, even though I'm technically in a business zone and retail zone, but I'd like to expand upstairs and, hire a couple more stylists. And I personally would like to step back from behind the chair a little bit more and really focus on building up everyone else around me, which in return would help build my business. I'd love to see maybe opening up a separate entity of a rental company business kind of thing, because I know that's the direction a lot of people are going in. So I just want to stay with the times and stay with what's changing. So.
And when you say you mean rental?
Renting chairs. Yeah, I would never do that at Miles Joseph Studios. I don't want to mix the two business models together because I think that could be really messy and kind of be a little all over the place. So I would open up its own shop
under a different name,
under a different
kind of separate those.
Right.
So I got a couple ending questions
that
I like to ask everybody. And I know this one's probably hurt you as well. It has hurt us. How has the coronavirus hurt you guys?
So It's fucking crazy. It's like, it's really, really crazy. You know, luckily I have such a great team, and I check in. I think that if you're a business owner going through this and you're able to check in with people as a group and individually, just to kind of keep everyone on track and, you know, keep that light on at the end of the tunnel, even though we don't know what the hell's going on, especially for my industry. There's no specific date of when we're allowed to return. So tattoo shops, barbershop salons, nail salons, we don't have a date. You know, everyone else has kind of like an idea, but we don't. So just trying to keep a hold of everyone. It's affected me a lot. You know, clients are in the dark because, again, we don't have answers, but, you know, we try to send out an email once a week. We've been making lists of people that we have to reschedule financially. You know, luckily everything's on kind of halt right now. And there are some really great, you know, grants out there for small businesses in Connecticut, and I think they're doing it in general across the country. So it's just really scary, but it's great to have an awesome team behind me, and they believe in me and they believe in themselves. And well, I have a really good feeling, like our president said, I think that our economy is just gonna like boom after this. Because I don't know about you, but I'm going to get drinks. I'm going on a vacation. I'm getting the hell out of this town because I feel like in a box right now. So I'm gonna go spend money when all this is done. So.
I hope it transfers over into the landscape world, because for us,
oh yeah,
has been home and doing it themselves.
Yeah,
So,
well, I think that you'll be good because people will be sick of it.
yeah.
People are going to be so sick of it, and they're going to want to do it. And you know, do you own your landscaping business?
Yeah, I do.
So do you guys do like specials and stuff like that ever? Like,
Yeah, like right now we're doing 30% off for medical staff and first responders, because you know
so
they're
doing stuff like that is like awesome because that's like, you know, that's huge. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do like crazy sales to like, so it's, you know, a no-brainer to come back into the salon and get your hair done after all this.
yeah, and that's what's kind of everybody's doing right now. Is just, you know, they're, I don't know if you've seen it, but Jersey Mike's is doing 50% off online orders.
Oh wow.
So everybody's just trying to get one.
Yeah, and I think that too, you know, our government is doing a really, really, really good job with keeping, you know, trying to keep money in people's pockets and making sure that no one's going hungry or, you know, going poor. So I think that that's gonna, you know, play a really big part in us coming back and, you know, staying alive.
We'll see what happens when everything cleans up and brushes over. So we already touched on what your goal is for the next 10, 15 years.
Mhm.
So what do you like to do in your free time?
I like to cook. I like to hang out with friends. Honestly, in my free time, because I do work so much, I'm usually, you can find me on my couch watching some kind of horrible reality TV show. But I am going to be starting a fitness journey because I'm really sick of being in the house. So I'm going to do that. So I guess working out and cooking healthy foods.
All right. Well, let's see. That should be fun.
Party, right? Yeah, it's going to be so fun.
In your opinion, what defines a successful business owner? And it doesn't have to be money. It could be whatever you think makes someone successful.
I think it's what their values are and what their core meaning behind whatever they're doing. So, you know, make like just a good person is gonna be very successful at the end of the day. And like money, like you hear all the time, business all the time you hear is like, you know, it's not friendly, it's not, you know, it's dirty being in business, but it doesn't have to be. And I think that I kind of proved that in the sense of being able to be a real, honest, good person. And, you know, my business is growing. My clients love seeing that. I'm authentic. So being authentic, I think.
True to yourself.
Yeah, true to yourself, exactly.
So, other than labor, what is your biggest expense? And labor might not be a big expense for you with the way.
It's not. It actually costs me nothing because the stylist is making it themselves. So my biggest overhead is product because, and I preach this all the time, I don't use shit product. Like I invest in very top of the line products. You know, on my retail shelf, like we really invest a lot into that, and invest into education is really expensive these days. and rent. Those are the really big things. So.
Do you see customers prefer the higher quality products, or does that kind of bring in your own niche clients that are willing to pay higher dollars?
I think both. I think there's a clientele out there that I know for a fact there's a clientele there that just wants to come in and spend money. That's just what they want to do. But there's definitely people that, you know, notice the difference in their hair. Maybe they didn't want to spend $60 on covering their grays up, but they go home and they see how shiny and healthy their hair is and how long the color lasts, and they're like, oh, that's why I'm spending $10 more than going, you know, to another salon.
How is South Windsor as a whole?
Amazing.
Is it?
Amazing. There's, you know, a good amount of salons in here, but there's enough room for everyone, in my personal opinion. It's insane. It's really great. I hope I get to expand here because, you know, I'm a South Windsor native. I grew up here my whole life. I literally was a baby around the corner. My dad built a house around the corner. So I hope that they let me expand here. It's great. It's a really good, you know, it's not, you don't get those clients that come in here that want to keep their sunglasses on during their appointment. You get real honest people in here, but they want to spend money and they want to support, which is the biggest thing. There's a really big sense of community around here. And, you know, especially during this time, everyone's just flooding in, like, how can I help? Like, gift cards, all that stuff. And it's really great.
That's awesome that they're trying to. So what, are people booking appointments way in advance, or are they just?
No, I don't let that happen. And that's again, another story. I don't like gift cards right now because it kind of still sets you back, because then when they come back in, there's going to be like appointments that have already been paid for when you could have had some, you know what I mean? So I halted on everything, but my brother owns an apparel company, so I'm going to do some sweatshirts for people to buy if they want to support us, and, you know, buying retail still, and, you know, making sure that when we do open up, you know, booking out a couple more appointments than you normally would, just to kind of show the support.
Are you able to sell e-commerce with your products right now, or?
What's that?
Like sell the products that you have in store online, or just to have some sales still going right now?
Yeah, my clients would just message me, call me, email me, DM me, and be like, hey, I need a shampoo and conditioner. And then we usually just, you know, they will come to the door and I'll just hand it out to them and swipe their card. But it's not a huge thing. It's not like we're like flooded with retail stuff.
Yeah, just a small thing to keep you going right now.
Yep.
So probably the most important question, where can people find out about you and your business?
So Instagram is huge, Miles Joseph Studios on Instagram, our website, milesjosephstudios.com, Facebook, Miles Joseph Studios. Yeah, but Instagram's the biggest thing to find us on there. And we respond to all of our DMs and all that kind of stuff.
Awesome. So thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thank you so much. This was really fun.
All right, that's the end of our show, and I appreciate you guys listening to this. If you could screenshot this and share it to your story, let your friends see it. Also, subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to it. If you'd like to be on the show, please email me at ctbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. We'll see you next time. Thank you.